In the past several days, for instance, in Chicago, and today, leaving Toronto, you walked over, and said goodbye. Do you plan to do this as much as you can in the future to the fans who greet you at the airports?
Yeah, if we're allowed to, But if not, then we'll just have to do what we're told to do, by the police. But like today, it was all right. It was a good, orderly crowd, and so it was all right to do that. Yes, thank you.
Do you have any other, let's say, career ambitions or any special goal to reach as a group and as individuals? The Beatles have become the hottest act in the world. But after this, do you have any other goals outside of music?
Only movies, I like to continue making films because we all enjoyed it. It was great, I think, when we make our new film, with the experience we had in the first one, it should be a bit better. But we hope so.
I know we watched A Hard Day's Night with you in Atlantic City. It was very interesting to me because you were there watching the picture, and I was wondering what was going on in your mind, whether you liked yourself or not. Do you ever find yourself, I know announcers don't like themselves on tape.
Of course, the bits that make us curl up in a film, especially the part on the train, it's so embarrassing. That was the very first part we did. But there's parts I like. Naturally, I love Ringo's bits, and the bit in the field, and the bit where we're chased by the policeman, and the fellas trying to pinch the car. But there's a lot of things that embarrass us about ourselves, but, the average person doesn't, notice. It's just little things that we notice.
People ask you a question like, did you ever think you would become a big star? And these questions are really nonsense because at the time you never know what's going to happen. But now that you are in the limelight throughout the world, do you ever take a backward look, and remember when you were first starting out, and does it give you sort of a chilling feeling to know that you've become so popular and so famous and so well known?
Not really. Because all along the line we never expected to do anything. We just plodded on, and it just all happened, and so we took it in our stride. But when we look back at it, it's funny. It just seems a big laugh. Just all the lads, sort of we've known each other for years.
Have any groups, musical groups in England or here, ever come to you for advice?
Well, not usually recording groups, but you get little groups, amateur groups, so when we appear in different places, they come and say, what sort of strings do you use, and how do you do that, and what would you do if you wanted to do such and such, But it's usually only the amateur groups, no other groups do, because they're probably much better than us anyway, musically.
Well, modesty is one of the virtues of the Beatles. I've learned that. And another thing I've learned, I was telling this to Ringo the other night, somebody asked me to describe the Beatles, and I consider it a very fortunate experience to be on this tour, and I'm enjoying it. They said, how can you describe the Beatles in one word? And I said, natural. And you can't analyze success, because success comes and goes, and it gets higher or it gets lower. But do you think that the boys, including yourself, have a certain naturalness about you? I mean, everything you do is just straight from...
Yeah, definitely that's one of the big points, that I think's contributed to our success, because we have been naturals. And
you don't come on like the big Hollywood star bit.
Yeah, well, we've always disliked that phony sort of star image, We'd much rather be ourselves, and that's one thing we always did, we came out as ourselves, and we thought if they don't like us how we are, then hard luck, and they did. The people like natural people better, I think.
George, I want to express this to you. I've expressed it to each and every one of the boys. We're having a 2-day vacation, and then I'll be coming back and everything. I want to thank you very much for giving us this interview time, and I want to say we've enjoyed it very much.
Thanks a lot.